Hello everyone. My name is Mason Maggs, and I'm here for you today to bring you the Food Thief Riddle, inspired once again by Ted Ed. Thank you guys. 5 friends, Allie, Ben, Carolina, Dean, and Earl, went on a camping trip. Only 3 of them remembered to bring tents, so they decided that they would sleep 2 people in one tent, 2 people in another tent, and 1 person would sleep alone. However, when they awoke the next morning, they found that their cooler had been broken into. They know it couldn't have been a wild animal because the cooler was locked and someone purposely opened it. However, no one is confessing to this crime. So the 5 friends decided to interview each other, and they learned the following information. Ben is the group's snorer, so everyone decided that he should sleep alone. Dean admits he was up the night before, but it was only so he could get a blanket from the truck. Carolina woke up at some point during the night, and she was alone in her tent, but she immediately fell back to sleep. Someone sleepwalked, and their name does not have exactly 4 letters. Earl woke up to see a man outside, and that man did not get into the cooler. Allie slept in the same tent as her husband. When Dean awoke during the night, his tent mate was up before him. Allie was awoken by the sleepwalker, and the sleepwalker did not get into the cooler. And finally, everyone awoke exactly once the night before. Based off of this information, who is the food thief? Pause the video here if you want to try to figure this out for yourself. Answer in 3, 2, 1. Let's start by determining who woke up first during the night. It couldn't have been Carolina because her tent mate was up before her. It couldn't have been Dean because his tent mate was up before him. It couldn't have been Earl because when he woke up there was someone outside. And it couldn't have been Allie because she was awoken by the sleepwalker, if you count a sleepwalker as being awake. So the first person who was up was Ben. And speaking about that sleepwalker, we know that someone sleepwalked and their name does not have 4 letters, so this narrows it down to 2 people. However, since Carolina did not sleepwalk, the sleepwalker must have been Ben. Next, we know that Allie was awoken by the sleepwalker and the core was intact at the time. This means Ben could not have gotten into the cooler. His name is cleared. So where do we go now? Let's determine who Allie slept with. We know that Allie slept with her husband, so the 2 girls couldn't have slept together. And also, since both Carolina and Dean woke up to see their tent mates awake, that means Carolina and Dean did not sleep together. So logically, this means Allie and Dean slept together and Carolina and Earl slept together. So we know that Dean woke up after Allie did when she was woken by the sleepwalker. We know that Dean got out of his tent to get a blanket from the truck. What else do we know? We also know Earl woke up to see a man outside. That man must have been Dean. And also, Earl saw that man did not get into the cooler. This clears Dean's name. And it also clears Allie's name, since she was up for Dean. So what next? Is there anyone else we can clear? Oh, that's right, Carolina, because she woke up alone in her tent, but then immediately fell back to sleep. This clears Carolina's name too. Would appear that there's only one person whose name hasn't been cleared. Good old Earl. So here's a timeline of what happened that night. This whole ordeal started by Ben sleepwalking out of his tent. His sleepwalking woke Allie, who watched as Ben woke up from his sleepwalking and got back into his tent. Allie then woke up Dean, and then Allie went back to bed. Dean then went out of his tent to get the blanket from the truck, and he woke up Earl. After Dean was back in his tent, Earl sneaked out and got into the cooler, and during Earl's snacking, his tent mate Carolina woke up and fell back to sleep. To think that all of this started by just a sleepwalker. And speaking of sleepwalking, it has to do with our quote of the day from Alex Smith. One mind awake can become stronger than 1,000 zombies sleepwalking in a dying civilization. Thank you so much for playing. Another shout out to Ted Ed for inspiring this riddle. Until next time, later.